Hey guys, welcome back. Took the week off last week. Needed some time to take a break, recharge my batteries, all that happy bullshit. So that's all out of the way. Let's talk about probably one of the more inexplicable and unnecessary sequels I've seen in the past couple years. Okay, so Neighbors 2 is basically what the fucking title says it is. It's just the exact same movie with a number 2 after it, and instead of a fraternity, it's girls. So I was going into this movie like, this isn't really going to be good. I wasn't thinking it was going to be too funny, and that's exactly what happened. The things that worked for the first movie were the fact that the fraternity had a lot of comedy, Seth Rogen and his family had a lot of comedy, and the hijinks of them clashing together was pretty fucking funny. In this movie, the sorority and all the girls involved in it, none of them are funny. They try to make you feel bad for them because they're kind of like a group of misfits and they never really fit in high school, so they kind of band together. They start their own little shindig at the sorority house, move in next door next to Seth Rogen, and after that, basically the same thing minus the comedy. And when you have a comedy movie, you're supposed to make people laugh, and the sorority did nothing. They did fucking nothing, and it was just boring as shit. One of the things that does work for this movie is some of the returning supporting cast members. Like Zac Efron is surprisingly really funny in this movie, just like he was in the first one. It's similar to how Channing Tatum was in the Jump Street movies. Like I would never expect to have an actor like Channing Tatum or Zac Efron really make me laugh, and he's still one of the funniest parts of this movie. It was good to see him back. You had some of the smaller characters from the fraternity in the first one. You got the guy with like the foot-long dick comes back. So smaller characters like that. Harold Burris as the police officer returns. And they even throw in a couple laughs here and there. So it was good to see them come back. Probably one of the biggest problems I have with this movie is a lot of the parts that made me laugh were just recycled laughs from the very first movie. For instance, if you watch the trailer for it, you see the airbag gag is back in the movie. And it's situations like that. Like they couldn't come up with any new original ideas or any new ways to make the audience laugh or anything. So that just really irked me. And it brings me to a point that these comedy sequels should just not happen. Like an example would be like the Hangover series. The first Hangover was fucking hilarious. The second one had some decent laughs in it, but it was nowhere near as good as the first one. The third one was just... So these comedy sequels should just not be made, but I'm guessing from the popularity of the first one, the studio was like, oh, we need to make another Neighbors movie. People need to see this shit. And really, it just should not happen at all, because these movies do suffer from that. So at the end of the day, there was some enjoyable parts in Neighbors 2, but it was basically the same things that I enjoyed about the first Neighbors movie. And when I'm going into a sequel, I obviously want to see some new things. And in a comedy, I want to see some new things that make me laugh. And it didn't have any of that. I didn't give a shit about the sorority. I cared about none of those characters. And you even ended up kind of caring a little bit less about the situation for Seth Rogen and his wife in the movie. So really, everything that went right in the first one, they tried to recreate for this, and it just went wrong. And it really didn't do what I wanted it to. So what do I rate Neighbors 2? This movie earns my very first Stone Cold Sober. Wasn't good, wasn't great, wasn't bad, wasn't shit. It was just kind of like right there in the middle. So it was just eh. So have you seen Neighbors 2? What did you think about it? Did you like it? Did you love it? Did you hate it? Is it somewhere in the middle for you? Comment. Let me know what you guys thought. Tune in next week for another episode of Movies and Brews. Cheers.